Excellent. Now, I wonder if I can change the view so I can see everybody. How's everybody doing?
I'm
Good.
cold. It's cold here.
It's cold here too. Yeah, we have a cold front coming in Ontario, wintertime. Jeff Morris says it is also cold. Yeah, North America this time of year, wintertime. So, I guess what can we expect, right? So the point, welcome, by the way, I see some familiar faces, obviously, some new faces as well. I'll introduce myself. I'm Lumi. I describe myself as an autistic alien with a special interest in human behavior. It's been a special interest of mine, like forever, like feeling like the black sheep, the weirdo. I never really understood how to human, and like even before I realized that I didn't understand it, right? Like I always was like, what are we doing here on a subconscious level? So I've studied psychology first. Psychology and sociology is where my formal education is in. And then I had a career in the fitness industry. So I worked in fitness for 10 years as a personal trainer and a gym manager. And then I had like there's a few waves of spiritual awakening, but the most significant one that was like the most catalytic that really turned my world upside down um, was like 2017-ish after I ignored the 2012-ish wave. So since then, since like 2017, I've been really deep into metaphysics. So like meditation, consciousness, quantum physics. I got into studying the fourth way. So the fourth way mystery school is like I would say the most predominant as far as like the underpinnings of my work that I cite the most in my teachings, but also like the hermetic principles, and then getting into like all the different systems. So I learned human design first, and then I learned gene keys. And then I spent a few months going really deep into the tarot and the archetypes of the tarot and how it's all connected. And then after that, I was like, well, you know what? I should probably learn astrology since it's all related, like it's all rooted in astrology. And so obviously tropical, right? Because that's what most people think is the only form of astrology, like the spiritual community. And like I feel like this is in part due to New Age spirituality, like the stranglehold that it has on the Western world in particular. But honestly, learning tropical astrology, like like learning is my gift, right? Like it's the one thing I'm really good at. It's like learning information, absorbing it, and breaking it down, finding patterns between things. But like when I started learning and practicing tropical astrology, like it just felt like it was so much work. Like it didn't really feel intuitive. I was doing a lot of in-person work at that time, leading women's circles, co-facilitating with a friend of mine. And if like I would have to research it. Like it wasn't like it was intuitive. It was it wasn't intuitive. It was work. It was mental. I had to go to an astrologer or I had to go to a program and learn what was happening and then make my deductions based on what I know about the archetypes and the patterns or whatever, right? And like because of the way that our universe functions, right? Like we are everything and nothing, right? So like literally all of the zodiacal archetypes, like all of them will apply to you in some way, shape, or form because you are everything, right? So if there's side note, if there's a particular zodiac sign that you just really don't like, that is an invitation to some shadow work for you, because you are that, right, that you don't like. So I, the forecasts and the work that I was doing with tropical astrology, women's circles, so client work, readings, things like that. Human design and gene keys are rooted in tropical astrology as well. All was resonant, like people were impressed. I was giving people breakthroughs or helping them realize their own breakthroughs rather. Um, but something just felt it was just like a little janky, and so eventually it took like I feel like the process was like about a year and a half of like an inkling, like a knowing of the 13, like an awareness of like the like the lunar cycles and the menstrual cycles and the 13 in relation to that, and then my deepening of my primary like experiential knowledge, felt sense of the oneness in everything, and like not just on an intellectual level, right? Like, well, all is one. Like, sure, you're in the spiritual community, you've heard somebody say that, I'm sure, right? But like, what does that really mean on a cellular level? Okay, not like we're all one consciousness, but like actually everybody in another body is also you, right? And like everything that is outside of you comes from inside of you, right? And like feeling that internally and then seeing it reflected externally, because that is the true secret to creation and reality, like manifestation, creation, all of that is an inside job, right? Like the way out is in. And this is how the inverted society gets us. And that's why I call it the inverted society. Other words for that are like the overculture, right? I don't know what another word is for that. Another word for that is the overculture, right? So like the society that we're living in teaches us to use our heads and look outside of ourselves to outsource our power. And when you're using your brain in your head to intellectualize, you are cutting yourself off from your heart and your gut, because the information actually goes the other way, right? Like the even physiologically in your like body, there's a big nerve called the vagus nerve, right? And it goes up. Like no, the information doesn't come from the brain to tell your gut what to do. It's the other way around, right? And so when we're intellectualizing and using our heads to look outside of ourselves to understand the concepts intellectually, and then tropical astrology plays into this as well, because it is a purely intellectual concept. It is based on calculations and mathematics that are not connected to what is actually going on in the visible sky. You cannot access tropical astrology without some sort of program, or if you want to go real old school, you can get an ephemeris, right? Like, but in any way, it's an external authority. You have to look outside of yourself in order to feel what's going on. And like another source of information. Whereas true sidereal, which is the lens that I practice now, after I guess I kind of jumped over the like there was an existential crisis for like about a year once I started to realize, right? Like the information started to seep in, but my ego was like, no, like I built a business on this. Like I can't be no, like, right. But eventually it was undeniable. And so I like burned my business to the ground and I went offline for like 6 months. And during that period of time, I was like, all these systems are garbage. Like, we don't need any of them, which is true in some part, right? Because we don't need them. It's just a tool that you can use, right? Like, astrology doesn't totally predetermine everything that happens in your life. You also have free will within that, right? Predetermination and free will exist at the same time because everything's a freaking paradox, right? So my intention with the work that I've been doing, as far as my online presence, I'm guessing most of the people who are watching this either live or on the replay have come from my TikTok audience, maybe a few from Instagram, but more so TikTok. And like the work I've been doing for the last year on there, and like deepening my studies, the offerings with the ebook and the courses, the course rather. And then now this new initiative with this community and the memberships that I have rolled out. The intention with this is to provide a different perspective of astrology, right? Where one, like not only the lens, right? So I'm not only looking to connect you all with the information as far as the planets are not where they say that they are. The zodiac are all different sizes. There's a 13th sign that nobody's talking about, right? Like there's some big pieces of information there that are important, but it's only information, right? What I would like my intention, or I guess like the core mission of my brand and personal like what I'm doing here is to empower you to take that information and think critically about it, right? Like, what do you think And if something that I say, if something that I present doesn't jive with what you think, that's cool. Like, let's talk about it. Like this is not an echo chamber. I do like it when people agree with me, let's be real. But I also like it when people disagree with me because I'm really good. I'm a master debater. Let's say. I'm also really crass. There will be rude things, innuendos throughout anything that I say. So if you're a sensitive person who gets offended easily, you should probably just tune out at this point. So that's my pre-frame. Okay, so this is my origin story, the intro into the very first community call as far as the Bright Light Collective is concerned. I have been doing weekly calls on another platform. Some of you may be coming from that platform or followed me to that platform and now have come here. I did make a video talking about my experience with that. I don't really want to talk about too much on this call, but the point is that actually, you know what? It does kind of tie into what I'm going to talk about as far as the astrology goes. But like, not all that glitters is gold, and like what we're seeing right now astrologically using the authentic sky and the alchemical astronomy, which is another way to refer to this lens of astrology. We are seeing the old paradigm being shattered, right? Like the experiences or the performative spirituality, the way of operating in the world based on the external locus of appearances, of intellectualizing information. Like there's a lot of people out there that like know these things, they can say the things, but they're not being the things, right? It's like it's the external locus. You can talk the talk, but are you walking the walk? And my experience with that community was that was not happening, unfortunately. And no shade to anybody, no judgment. But like that's just not what I'm here to do. Like I'm here to literally lead the new, like the revolution into the new earth, right? And that revolution is internal. So I want to remind y'all that like even me, okay, like I'm not a guru. I am a subject matter expert in human behavior and metaphysics. So like I would consider myself knowledgeable, and I have a good amount of experiential knowledge as well, but like question everything. Question everything. Everything that anybody tells you, okay? Take that information, see how it feels in your body, and then do your own research, because anybody who's telling you that you shouldn't do your own research, like I don't even understand that. Like what are we supposed to be doing? Like we're supposed to just take other people's research as our own? Like no. And maybe this is the tism, right? Like this is the oppositional defiance. Like I've always had issues with authority, right? And like my whole life I was told that it was a problem, but like I think it's actually my gift. Like it's what I'm here to do. I'm here to stand up to this old paradigm of the external locus, right? And like call my power back to my internal locus. And I think it's important on that note to bring into the conversation here like a really common criticism that is received with that, right? Like because when you take your power back and you think critically, and you put yourself first, right? Like what do people usually have to say about that sort of behavior? Yeah, they're like, you're selfish, you're so entitled, like why can't you think about other people? Like you're like your ideas are dangerous. Like somehow different opinions are threatening, right? And that is indicative of somebody who is operating under the illusion of separation, right? And again, there's no judgment, there's no value system, right? It's not like illusion of separation bad, enlightenment good, right? Like no, it's just different forms, different experiences. And if you understand metaphysics, yes, Meg, polarity, exactly. If you understand the rules of the universe, the laws of creation, you know that for everything there is an opposite. You literally cannot be awake without somebody asleep. So we can't be like shitting on the people who are asleep, right? Because that is you in another body. Like they're holding down the frequency of the opposite in order for you to be over here, right? So the as far as like the opening intentions or like the contemplations for this the 21-day Ra Lovebug Portal, which just came to me like so intuitively. Like I was not planning this like longer than a week ago. Like it was just like we have to do something. Like, and I've always been a freaking Scrooge. Like ever since, I mean, like I had a weird childhood, but like once I got kicked out of my house when I was in my late teens, and ever since then I've been like, frick Christmas, this is dumb, right? And like just getting wasted and like we used to call it drunk orphan Christmas. But anyways, the point is not that, but like um even if you're somebody who doesn't have as much oppositional defiance and like resistance towards holidays in general, especially Christmas, like uh the way that we are taught to be and interact in this period of time is inverted. Like it's literally backwards, especially if you understand or understand rather what is happening with the sun right now. Okay, so I think that this is probably a good time to, I'll just like share, I'll do a little screen share for the astrology. uh is it open? I think it's on here. Hopefully I'm opening the right one. I have like three. Yes, okay, that's today. like people's birth charts for readings open, so I don't hopefully didn't want to share that. But in future, just FYI, with so this I'm going to be doing a free community call like this once a month. And then I'm also going to be going live in both of the tiers. So like the True Sky Baddies tier and the Circle of Stars tier, $8 or $22 Canadian. And on those calls, we will be doing transit charts and chart readings. And if you're on the call live, then I will read your chart in the context of whatever I'm talking about. But that's not today. Today, I just wanted to show you guys what is going on in the visible sky. And because this is what each day for the next 21 days in both of the tiers, I'm going to be providing you with a contemplation or two, because I can't narrow things down. And then a couple of journal prompts as well, because the sun right now is transiting like the most special part of the sky, in my opinion. So Scorpio and Ophiuchus. Now, I did make a video on this, I think yesterday or the day before, talking about the boundary between Scorpio and Ophiuchus. There's two different interpretations of it. Using the IAU, which is the International Astronomical Union, they say that the sun is technically in Ophiuchus now, so that Scorpio is smaller. Mastering the Zodiac uses a midpoint system, and like when you look at like a star charting app right now, which I don't think my computer can handle it if I tried to pull up the star charting app to show you guys on here. Holding the frequency of a new computer. If anybody here feels generous and they want to donate a new MacBook to my cause, I would accept that. But you can do it yourself, like on Night Sky or Star Chart, or any of the star charting apps. You can see for yourself where the sun is. And to me, it still feels like it's in Scorpio, like the end of it, but it is cuspy, right? And really, honestly, this whole period, right, like Scorpio into Ophiuchus, Ophiuchus is the higher octave of Scorpio. And that comes from fourth way teachings, where we talked about this on one of the last Metaphysical Mondays that I did on the other platform that I was on. The ray of creation in fourth way, right? Everything happens in an octave. So like, and then actually even that's kind of curious because it's at 7 degrees right now. So like 7 in the tarot is the Chariot, which is the higher octave of the Fool. So everything happens in octaves, right? So the Fool is the 0 card. Eight cards later is the Chariot, which is the Fool once he's gone through one round of collecting all the things that he needs on his hero's journey to go on the quest, right? So the sun right now is at 7 degrees Scorpio, which is that Chariot energy of like, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to be initiated. Ophiuchus, as far as like the higher octave, is like after we surrender through Scorpio, the fixed water, right? Like the 8th house is like death and taxes, right? Like just surrender. And that's where we're at right now. The collective identity is dissolving into the deepest water that exists in the chart. and then is about to transition, is currently like starting to transition into the Ophiuchus energy, which is the anomaly. So it's a choice point in the zodiac. I often describe it like the wheel, it's the wheel of samsara, right? So like the 12. Isaac Rodriguez, by the way, is my teacher. Genius man. His brain works very similar to mine as far as like different symbols and pattern recognition. So he talks about the research that he's found that states that like the zodiac, the belt of stars, was put around the earth in order to contain us in the three lower dimensions, just the movement from light to dark, right? Like this is why I call tropical astrology seasonology, because it only measures that cycle, right? It's missing. It's like you have like a clock with just the minute hands, but you don't know what hour it is, right? Because you're missing the celestial cycles, because we've got the seasonal cycle, and then we've got the celestial cycle, and they move at different speeds, right? So things, it's like two different dials. So I often describe the zodiac as like the wheel of samsara. But I saw a creator, another sidereal astrologist, in a group that I'm in, actually Isaac's group on Facebook, Sidereal Revolution. It's open to anybody, that you don't have to be a student of his. Highly recommended if you're keen to learn more and to be exposed to more true sidereal astrologers, because I wouldn't call, like, I don't identify as an astrologer, which is probably funny because I talk about astrology and most of my content is about it, but I'm actually a polymath, right? Astrology is just one of the things that I do. It's just one tool, but there's a lot of really gifted sidereal astrologers who like are hyper focused on just that, and definitely know more than me in those groups. So anyways, I saw a creator, Brenda Martinez. I think she follows me. So if you're watching this, thanks for the analogy, Brenda. But she put a post up yesterday or the day before talking about Ophiuchus season and how the zodiac is like a hamster wheel. And I thought that that was a great analogy, because it's like you just go around and around and around, right? Like you're running, but you're not really getting anywhere. And in that analogy of it being a hamster wheel, Ophiuchus is the trapdoor, right? It gives you the choice point. So I say wheel of samsara, never ending toiling in the physical world, to spiral dynamics, right? So the pattern is still going, the wheel is still going, but there's a choice point that you can see if you are paying attention and you're not just looking outside of yourself, running after whatever hamsters eat. What do they eat? Like grains? They're herbivores. Yeah, they're not. They're not. Imagine the hamster eating meat. Anyways, maybe they do. I know like some rats are omnivorous.
I'm dying. I'm dying over here. You're not laughing alone. I'm dying.
Can't see anybody's face. That's okay. I
I know.
anyway, so hopefully, I always hope the jokes land, but sometimes they don't. So I'm glad to know that one did. But anyways, that freaking hamster, right? Just like looking outside of it. Why are they running on the wheel? I don't know, right? It's just got a little hamster brain. It's going around and around. But if you slow down, right? If you take your hamster consciousness and you put it inside of you instead of looking outside of you for whatever delicious morsel that hamsters want to eat, you can see where that trapdoor is on the wheel. You can see the choice point in the pattern. And then that provides you an opportunity to choose differently. And that is exactly where we are right now in the sky. Okay. This is the freaking choice point. The sun is going to pass through that. The sun is our collective identity, our ego. Okay. So the fact that in our society we're conditioned to like, this is the most the most magical, most wonderful time of the year. I don't know anybody who actually feels that way. And like, probably, I mean, we tend to surround ourselves with people who are similar to us, and I am a Grinch. But the point is that, even people who say they love Christmas get worn down during this time, right? There's so many events, there's obligations, when I was married, both of our parents were separated, right? So like my parents are divorced and remarried, his parents are divorced and remarried, and then there was all the extended family shit. There were like 8 freaking Christmases to go to, and like as an like I didn't realize I was autistic at the time, but looking back, like it's no wonder I was an alcoholic, right? Like dealing with all of that overstimulation, the expectations, the consumerism, the not enoughness, the disappointment, the loneliness, the alcoholism, right? Like the amount of oh wait, I wonder if I can see when I'm on screen sharing. I can't see if anybody wants in. Okay. Oh, can I leave this up? Sorry. Oh, I wonder if I can do this. Can I open the chat? My computer's like, no, not too many things. Okay, there. Now I can see you guys saying things too. Oh, kind of. Um, yeah, Christmas, right? Christmas bullshit. I'm just gonna call it that, right? Like it's all and you can enjoy it, right? Like you can make a good time out of anything, right? And I'm not bashing any sort of religious association. Well, I will in another time, but like not today. The point is that the festivities of the holiday, no matter what religious association you're putting to them, encourage us to do the opposite. Do the opposite of what we're supposed to be doing. Okay, we should be during this period of time this incredibly auspicious window where the sun, our identity, is passing through the freaking choice point where we can decide to evolve or we can unconsciously agree to another round of the same bullshit. Okay? Like when you start to realize these things, you can see like how could it be anything other than nefarious? Like it's too perfect, right? This is why I call it the inverted society. Now, I don't want you to get caught in the negative value judgment of the nefarious powers that are creating these circumstances because again they are you in another body. You probably, if you're listening to this right now, if you're attracted to my transmissions, you probably lived many lives in an evil body. Okay, like we've done both. You're not just love and light, you are dark and shit also. Okay, and then this is the beauty of being a human, is that you get to choose in any given moment, right? And so those of us who have been around the celestial block a few times, right, like most of us have incarnated into bodies that are here to bring the light this time, but it doesn't mean that you get to deny the dark, right? So it's the acceptance of what is, and surrendering to that allows you to sink into authentic neutrality, not intellectualized neutrality, where you're like, there's no value judgment, but you're a piece of shit. Like, that's not actual neutrality, okay? Actual neutrality is being able to see the negative and not react to it, okay? And this is really where we're at as far as the beginning of this 21-day invitation, like the portal that I keep wanting to call it a challenge. Like it's so, I worked in fitness for so long and like did life coaching and stuff after that. It's like, let's get your fitness challenge. But like, it's not, why does it have to be hard? You know, like, well, it's not a challenge. Like, let's just be soft, right? Like, that's why I called it the portal instead, but it keeps wanting to come out of my mouth because it's part of my vernacular. But anyways, this 21-day journey, that's another word for it that is better, softer, as far as the neuro-linguistic programming is concerned. The intention with this is to gather as a group of humans who are feeling this energy of wanting to move away from the holidays, and not move away from it like excommunicate your family and tell everybody that they're celebrating nefarious traditions, right? Like you can if you want to, but like it won't necessarily go well, right? Like what I'm saying is you can still participate in those things, but bringing discernment and like a cohesion to the collective that are really feeling the call to go within and make the most of this portal. And I don't use that word lately. Okay, I friggin' hate when people are like, this is one the portal, like pay attention. No, whatever. Everything's a portal, really. Like you don't need anything to manifest. You're manifesting every single day. But there are certain conditions that facilitate things more than others, right? And we're in it right now. So the sun currently at number 7, the higher octave of the Fool, is ready. It's already dissolved through the first part of Scorpio. And now we're really surrendering, really softening. I know Scorpio doesn't necessarily have soft as far as like the archetype is concerned, but this is really distracted by the chat. Yeah. The Gregorian calendar portals are not even anything because the calendar is made up. numerology's fun, you know, like I like to make connections and stuff like that for sure, but like no. The Lion's Gate isn't even a thing, whatever. But anyways, the sun is a full octave into his journey as far as the archetypal hero's journey in the tarot. It has dissolved part of the identity and is now surrendering more deeply to what is exactly as it is right now. Before I get into, I have a little bit of it's not a slideshow, it's just some things I'm going to show you, but I just want to touch on a couple of the other aspects that informed the contemplations and the journal prompts for today, and also just like the theme of where we're at. So the other thing is that we have today in particular, the moon is right on top of Chiron. It just moved 1 degree. The moon moves 13 degrees in the sky every day. It's the fastest mover. So when I was looking at this earlier, they were both at 33 degrees Pisces, which is right on top of my natal sun in the 10th house. So the moon, yay. Astrology bingo. So if you didn't know, Chiron is the wounded healer. It is, and as you can imagine, probably from the title, it has to do with our wounds, okay? Chiron also is the ruler of Ophiuchus. Okay, the choice point. It's not a planet, it's an asteroid that rules Ophiuchus. Also the fifth element, because it's a pattern interrupt. It doesn't fit the pattern of the elementals or the modalities, because it has no modality either. Okay, so as the sun is making its way into Ophiuchus, I'm going to talk about Mars being here also. But Chiron, the ruler of Ophiuchus, which is making a trine right now, you can see here to Mars in Ophiuchus. So a supportive energy coming from the void, the black hole, the most feminine essence of our solar system, supporting the moon, which is another feminine essence. Okay, the moon is a vacuum. The feminine essence is the expansion. Okay, to bring in the fourth way, you know, the law of three. Okay, the best example of this law of creation is that for anything to be created, there's three opposing forces, right? So masculine, feminine, neutral, sperm, egg, womb, doing, outward, giving, that's the masculine energy, feminine, expansive, receiving, that's the egg, right? And then the womb is the neutral force. You need all three of those in equal parts in order for anything to be created. But in our society, it's all dicks, right? Like it's all it's three masculine energies, right? Like how many of you have a hard time relaxing? Even if you know that you need to take space for yourself to be productive, is there still a little voice that's like, you piece of shit, you need to be doing more? Like even me, you know, like I am talking about this and it's still a work in my personal life, right? Like I'm an entrepreneurial single mom, right? And so even when I'm taking time off, I'm like, ooh, I could make a piece of content about this. Like, no, I don't want to make a piece of content. I want to be nonverbal under a weighted blanket on the couch, right? Like, so it's that energy, the feminine womb, right? The reason I was talking about that is to give you an example of what the feminine energy is. When I say feminine, it's expansive, it's pulling in, it's receiving. Okay, so that's what the black hole, the galactic center where Ophiuchus is, pulling in. The moon pulls, it's magnetic, right? And we have a full moon on Thursday, which I haven't even done a video for yet. I'm going to try to do it after, like this afternoon. Side note, the moon circles, that if you are somebody who has attended one of my moon circles that I on the previous platform that I was engaging with, or in person, I'm going to be continuing these in the Bright Light Collective. And as a little gift to all of you, I've decided to include those in the True Sky Baddies tier this month. So Meg is my only member in the Circle of Stars at this point, so I'll have a little bonus gifty for you for for being the only OG in that tier right now. But these are somatic ritual circles. Okay, so we do there's a bit of yapping of me at the beginning, and then we do some sharing, and then we do a somatic movement practice, because the moon, especially when it's full, pulls the shit to the surface in us in order for us to become aware of it and send it to the moon. Because the moon has more laws, and we are trying to release laws from us according to fourth way principles, right? So like movement, shaking your body, releasing it to the moon in alignment with the authentic energies of what's going on. So there's going to be a moon circle this Thursday with the full moon at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So join the True Sky Baddies tier if you want to be a part of that. But the reason I'm even mentioning that is because we're getting close to that. Okay, it's Monday. Usually about 3 days on either side of a lunar event, we are feeling the potential of it. There's like a bit of an orb around the lunations. So the moon today is approaching the maximum potency as far as its magnetic potential, right? So it's pulling things to the surface. It's right on top of Chiron, which is our biggest wounds. And it's in Pisces, which is another really feminine sign, okay? Like technically, when you look at the zodiac in order, including Ophiuchus, Pisces is the 13th sign. Ophiuchus is the 9th, right? Which is another kind of curious number, the completion, right? So, so today, the moon being on top of Chiron in Pisces, trining Mars in Ophiuchus, like this is a lot of feminine energy. It's a lot of opening yourself up to receive. It's not a lot of doing energy, right? So we're not going to start this portal or this journey out with like a challenging, like you got to do this. It's more an invitation to get still and see what comes through, right? What is lying beneath the programming? What is lying beneath the people pleasing? What is lying beneath the performative participation in whatever it is that you are engaging with, whether it's social interactions, family interactions, your employment, whatever it is, anything that you are putting a mask on or shifting yourself, right, to be a part of, what is underneath that? Like, who would you be without that? How are you doing yourself a disservice by engaging in that? The last couple of weeks, if you've been consuming my content or paying attention to the transits, relationships have been getting hit. Like Mercury retrograde just ended. I usually am not like super affected by Mercury retrograde. I'm a Gemini rising. Like Mercury is my chart ruler. So I kind of like it usually, honestly. Like it doesn't usually throw me off, but I think the fact that it passed over all of these guys, so like Lilith, Venus, the Sun, and Mars, all in Scorpio and Libra. Like, I mean, obviously, like, look at what happened with me in the community that I was just involved in, right? Like, that unraveled during Mercury retrograde because I could not agree to what was being done behind the closed doors, right? The feminine, the black moon Lilith energy was saying no more, right? No more incongruence, no more people pleasing, no more making myself small, no more hiding my true power in order to make other people comfortable, no more prioritizing masculine doing energy. And I know there are some men on the call, and like their men have been more attracted to my work recently. Welcome, masculine. I appreciate you. And I just want to be clear, this has nothing to do with gender. Okay. Like you guys are not benefited by the patriarchy either. Okay. And everybody is disadvantaged by the inversion of the natural order of things, right? Because the masculine is actually meant to serve the feminine. Okay. That sperm's not doing shit by itself. Okay. It needs the egg to call it in. And I'm not trying to put you guys down, right? But we need to work together. Men. Yeah, like we not one is not better than the other, but the natural order is that the feminine comes first. We all come from a womb, right? Like that is where we enter the portal, the neutrino stream. We come from a feminine freaking vacuum, okay? And so this is the inversion that's been done to us, and the aspects and the transits and like the waves of energetic weather have been facilitating the dismantling of anything that is holding that old structure into place. Okay, the hustle, the grind, the external locus, the working to prove yourself worthy, the needing to accumulate material things for safety, right? All of these are indicative of external locus separation consciousness, which is part of the journey. And again, we need people in that experience still. It's not like we're not going to create new earth and the old earth is going to stop existing. No, you're just tuning the dial on your radio. You're going to be living amongst people in the old earth still, okay? I'm not going to use the word NPC. I just said it. I find that word to be derogatory, honestly, because it's like, again, casting judgment on a necessary part of our experience, right? So it's not about that, but it's about you as an empowered creator choosing what experience that you want, right? You can turn your own dial. There's an innuendo there too somewhere. You can turn that little dial to be in the new earth frequency where we have reverted the inversion. We've taken our power back, and it's been happening through relationships, right? So you're going to see this being played out in the collective. If you're somebody who has a lot of placements in this area of the sky, like, how are you doing? Like, I've been feeling it. My charts, like, is mostly over here, right? Springtime is hard for me typically. But yeah, there's been a lot. And like Venus also, I just wanted to make note as well. Venus, yeah, Meg's been going through it. And again, it's just a side note here. If you want me to have a look at your chart, you can join either the True Sky Baddies or the Circle of Stars tiers. We'll do there'll be more engagement in the Discord server. I also have a lot of space open now for readings, and these are great gifts as well. So if there's somebody in your life who you would like to gift a full chart reading or a mini reading, hit me up and I'll have a look at your chart. But the point is that to plug my services in a way, but also to connect you with this information. If you want to DIY it, the True Sky software is a game changer. I'm so happy. Oh, yeah, Meg and I were just talking about this morning. I was DIYing this for like a year and a half because the software was inaccessible. It was like it didn't work on Macs and it was like $400. So this web-based software I squealed when it came out. Like, I was like, finally. So I'm not affiliated with them. They don't have an affiliate program yet. I hope that they develop one because like I am pushing so many people into this software. But anyways, the point is you can have a look at your chart and see if there's any direct interaction, like you can put your transit in there and see how your birth chart compares. But Venus also, so on the topic of relational dynamics and this shift playing out in relationships, Venus is also moving from Libra into this portal of death and rebirth. Venus is quite comfortable in Libra. It's the ruler, right? So there's been a period, I feel like has been really helping kind of hold things down. So you're not going totally like scorched earth and like burning all the bridges. Thankfully, I was able to not do that. But maybe you weren't so successful depending on your individual design. But we're going to have Venus in the party too, right? And then I guess I'll touch on Mars, just one last thing as far as the astrology goes before I get into the philosophy or like the contemplations and the journal prompts for day one, okay? So Mars it's also kind of curious that Mars is at 4 degrees of Ophiuchus using this system because Mars is like Aries, which is the emperor, which is number 4 in the tarot, right? So like just the way that these different symbols line up, it just tickles my brain in a really fun way. So Mars at 4 degrees Ophiuchus, Mars is our drive. It's how you do things. It's your masculine energy. It's your masculine energy. It is your desires. It is the epitome of that doing force, right? And whereas Venus is the epitome of the feminine receiving force, right? So that drive, the masculine drive, has literally gone through this gauntlet, right? So the last couple of weeks, like I forgot to check what the speed of Mars. It's a fast mover, but I can't remember how many degrees it moves. Maybe it takes a couple days for 1 degree, but anyways, the point is it's been a couple weeks that it's been moving through Scorpio and Ophiuchus. So our drive, our desire, our doing energy has just experienced the dissolution of the old way and is now currently being reborn through Ophiuchus. You may be feeling some sort of way about doing things right now. Like you may be feeling like you don't want to do anything and lean into that, right? It also has been locked in. Your Mars is in Ophiuchus. Yeah, your charts, you're just a lucky duck there, Meg. uh, My Mars and Mercury are in Aries, which explains why a lot of people think I'm an asshole. Also why I can just make decisions like this and do things without really thinking about it, which is a gift and a curse at the same time. But anywho, Mars currently is in the middle of Ophiuchus and it's locked in a T square with the nodes. Okay, so we've got a square here and a square here. And then there's, I mean, the nodes are always opposing each other because that's how it works, right? But like this here, the south node in Leo, the nodes move backwards. They're not physical things. They are just points. It's the line of the path of the moon, where the path of the moon crosses the path of the sun, right? So it shifts, it like moves backwards as they both have different kind of wobbles. So the south node is going to be, it's been in Leo for a couple months and it's going to be like 2-ish years in total that it's going to be moving backwards through Leo. South node is our karma collectively, and whatever sign it's in, it basically brings the shadow of that to the surface for us to become aware of the shadow and how incongruent it is from the pure heart coherence of the like internal locus. So this south node in Leo is dismantling performative spirituality. It is getting rid of egoic leadership. It is bringing attention to people who are not walking the frickin' walk, okay? Oh my. Like, that's what's happening, okay? So, like, this is why we're feeling the static and the ickiness when it comes to these superficial traditions, these norms, as far as like Holly, who even pays attention to this? Does anybody pay attention to celebrities anymore? Like that shit, that's like old paradigm, right? Like in people online are the new celebrities, right? Like, but not all of them are equal, right? Because there's still that layer of superficial performative leadership, performative spirituality in the spiritual influencer bubble as well, like that echelon. We're gonna see that shit pop, right? We're seeing it fester, and we're feeling the incongruence. Well, I mean, like some of us are. Some people are eating that shit up, right? Some people are like at the same level and they're gobbling it up because that's the role that they're meant to play, right? Now, this also is opposing the North Node, which is in Aquarius, right? So this is where the age of Aquarius energy is coming from. There's so many people, like the first really viral video that I had was in November of last year when I was talking about how Pluto is not in Aquarius and that's not what it means to be in an age anyways, right? And like so many people were so mad. Like the folded comments on those videos, like I just people had a lot of really bad, like angry things. One lady commented like 100 times on one of the videos, and like I was like, "Thanks for the engagement. Like, you know, you're gonna see more of my videos now, right?" But she was like, "You're ruining people's lives. Just let people live." Why? I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Like, anyways, the point is like not to mock people leaving mean comments in my videos, but also just to say if you are somebody who follows my content and you see me arguing with somebody in the comments, like please know that I am like this when I'm doing it. Like I'm like it's Aries, Mars, and Mercury and a Gemini rising, you know, like I just don't give a shit. I'm really good at arguing and I kind of get a kick out of pissing people off. Like I'm literally built for this, but anyways, the point is like a lot of people were reflecting in those videos or other times that I've mentioned that because it seems to be a sore spot, right? Because it's like because people are putting too much weight on the systems, right? It's like, oh no, the age of Aquarius, we're free. I don't have to do anything. No, no, that is not what that means. Okay, it's just creating an energetic condition. You still have to work and do shit and make decisions within that, right? It's not like the planets are going to save you. They're just going to create some favorable conditions and some unfavorable conditions. And if you're aware of it, then you can use them with your free will to help yourself, right? So people are like, well, I'm feeling the age of Aquarius. And I'm like, that's great. Feel it. That's, do that. That's helpful. Okay. I'm not saying that we can't embody that. And now that the North Node is in Aquarius, this is where that energy is coming from. Okay, like, and this is a lot of times why people, again, like they're so resistant to the new lens because they're so attached to the archetypes or the identities that they formed around their tropical charts or whatever, like, or maybe they're just not at a phase where they're here for that or whatever, right? But like the point is that if you actually open yourself up to entertain your true sidereal chart, you'll see that a lot of times the same energies are there, right? Like the energies that you really resonated with in your tropical chart will be in your true sidereal. It would usually just in a little bit different, like you just turn in the dial. To use my own chart as an example, I was an Aries sun in tropical. Obviously as an with an Aries, Mars, and Mercury in true sidereal, like I am that energy, right? I do resonate with that. But my Mars and my Mercury in tropical were in Taurus. And so I was always like, what the? I am not chill. Like I am a spaz, and like I definitely put my foot in my mouth. I act impulsively. I make decisions quickly. Like there's no thinking about things a lot of times. So like learning that, right? Seeing the dial. And then like my son being in Pisces in the 10th house, I was like, oh, okay, I actually am here to be a spiritual teacher. And, I'm also here to be an asshole. Like, right. So it's just same energy, just slightly more appropriate. But anyway, that was a huge tangent, talking about the North Node in Aquarius, bringing this energy of like freedom and innovation to the collective. Okay. So the fact, to wrap this back up to where I was, the T square that we have here, the tension. So oppositions are like pushing on each other, just causing a bit of tension. A square is an aspect that is tension, but with the intention of change, right? So like the nodes are influencing or trying to influence Mars and vice versa, right? So we as a collective, our drive, our doing energy, our masculine force, like in the void right now, right, is being influenced by the nodes of fate. Okay. And the nodes of fate are saying release performative spirituality, release egoic leadership, release anything that's superficial, anything that you're doing for the likes, anything that you're doing for the appearance of it, any masks that you are using intentionally or not. That shit needs to go, because you are here to step into the authenticity of your true weird self. Okay, you have to be yourself in the new paradigm, because yourself, your unique imprint, the specific tone, the note that you were here to play, creates a symphony within the collective of humanity. This is why human design is called the science of differentiation, right? Because we're all unique snowflakes in a big snowstorm. That's one thing, right? The symphony analogy, I like to say, like the Matrix or the overculture conditions us to be like a class of kids playing the recorder. I don't know if you guys have children that played the recorder, but like it's not a pleasant experience for the ears, right? Like just like the same notes, it's like shrill, right? Everybody like just playing together, doing the same thing. That shit sucks. Okay. That's what like the mainstream society is like. It's like fit in, be like everybody else, wear a mask, right? And it comes from survival, fear of being fed to the wolves, ultimately, right? So when you calm your body down and turn your attention inwards with enough persistence and practice, you stop existing under the illusion of separation. Doesn't mean that you don't ever return to that, because you're in a body. Like you're going to have these times where you're triggered or you're scared or you need to be in your body looking outside of yourself for some sort of physical danger threat, right? So it's not anybody who's like, you'll permanently leave your ego behind. That's bullshit. It's false light. Okay. You can't leave it behind. It's part of the experience of being a human. Okay. So it's not about that, but it's about being in neutrality is your baseline. So like when you calm your body down and look within long enough with enough practice, you establish an undeniable connection to the source that lies within you and everybody else, right? The divinity, the God, the source, whatever you want to call it, the universe, whatever word is least triggering for you and most resonant, all indicating source, right? That is within you, and you can only find it when you stop using your brain and get into your heart. Okay, calm the body down, look within, you're sitting in neutrality, and then you can see that it's safe to be yourself, that you are the one that's creating any sort of difficulties outside of you, and not from a place of like you need to beat yourself up about it, but like understanding that and taking responsibility for it and understanding that you can change it by looking within. Okay, you can't change it externally. It's an inside job, right? So this is like all the transits and everything that's been happening the collective, spontaneous awakenings, the waves of awakenings that we're seeing are all facilitating this movement of a big chunk of the collective away from the illusion of separation, looking outside of ourselves and all of the patterning that comes with that, to security in the internal locus of control, operating from the heart. And when you're operating from that, all of this stuff, like I've had some really intense stuff going on interpersonally, not only with the community situation that I was involved in, but also my family, because I have a karmic family, right? like, uh, and yeah, I mean, a couple incidents in my family, different branches of it. If I was operating under the illusion of separation as my baseline, I would be so stressed out and butthurt right now. Like, I'd be angry, I would be fighting. But when you sit in that neutrality, right, and that's the whole intention of the next 21 days with the Ra Lovebug Portal, is to remind you to go within and remember that everything is coming from outside of you. No matter what is happening, it's all a creation from the source within you, with the intention of you learning something from it. Okay. And from that place of neutrality and having your internal locus as your baseline, you can then you can respond instead of reacting. So I went way off what I was going to say on astrology. If I change this, do you guys see the? Did I change the screen on you for you guys? Are you seeing? No. Okay. I think I have to stop.
Sorry, you did now. We saw your presentation there just for a hot minute. We were looking at the
Oh,
chart
oh, it
and
was
then we
just delayed.
stopped. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Let me see here. I I wanted to show you guys. I don't really want to talk. We're at 1 o'clock already, and most of these calls are probably going to be close to an hour and a half. I have a hard time keeping it to an hour, but um, familiarizing yourself with the Hermetic principles, this is like a staple as far as your spiritual development is concerned. I reference these all of the time. I think in the new year I'm going to create like an ebook or like a mini course on this, because it's ancient wisdom that is misquoted and misunderstood all of the time, right? But like the gist of all of these is what I just said, basically, right? Like, everything is coming from within you. There is polarity, so everything has an opposite. So we can't judge the opposite of what you are. And everything has a cause and effect, right? So when it comes to this and the theme of relational dynamics and where we are right now, as far as the sun and its descent through Scorpio and into Ophiuchus, and the ego deaths and potential turmoil in your physical world that can result from these sorts of internal shifts, understanding these laws will help you to reinforce that neutrality, so you're not just swept up in the external locus, the external butthurtness of it all, as I like to say. I often describe myself as one part awakened sage, one part hood rat, because like I was a hood rat for a long time. So I put these in here. If you've attended one of my Metaphysical Mondays, you've seen these lovely diagrams that I created a number of years ago. But I just wanted to put them on here because I find like having a visual for these concepts is really helpful to then, I mean, everybody's a little bit different in like their sentience, right? But like having this kind of idea when you're doing this work, as far as whether you're seeing it visually or you're feeling it, right? Having an understanding of what's going on with your aura when it comes to the external locus versus the internal locus, and why it is so important to switch your control, take your control back from the external and into the internal. And that's the entire point of what we're doing over the next 3 weeks. So the external locus, as you can see with the sad face here, his aura, and I know I said he for some reason, probably because it's blue and I'm like conditioned to think that that's a boy color, but this person is contracted. Okay, their aura is stuck close to their body. They are looking outside of themselves for safety, for threats, for food, mating opportunities. Basically, that's what the brain does in your head, right? It wants you to survive and interact with the physical world. It's material based. The internal locus, when you calm your body down and turn your attention inwards long enough, you can then safely switch from the brain to your heart. It is really challenging to move from your head to your heart when your body is like freaking out, right? And this is why, like, this whole season of like overstimulation, over obligations, and then especially the toxicity as far as like the alcohol, the sugar, like these things create contraction in our body. And listen, I don't enjoy alcohol anymore. I will never make a good case for that as literal poison. If you choose to imbibe alcohol, that is your free will, but I will never again, unless like it's a really good occasion and it's like fancy, pure, some sort of fancy wine or something. But like it's been years since I partook in that because it just feels like shit now. However, I do like to smoke weed and eat a chocolate bar. Okay, like so I get it. I understand. I understand the draw. These things are part of the human experience, right? We're allowed to engage with them and we can engage with them consciously. But over time, too much of that, even alcohol, again, I'm never going to make a good case for alcohol because it affects your nervous system for 3 days afterwards. Okay. It's literally translates to like spirit eating force or something like it's like death eater, I think is the Latin translation of alcohol, right? It pulls your soul out of your body and then you become possessed by other things. Okay. So alcohol, no. Sugar sometimes, okay? Like, but the focus on this for this holiday season is actively contracting your aura around your body and making it almost impossible for you to take your attention from your brain looking outwards to your heart looking inwards. Okay. So anything that you can do to reduce the amount of toxins that you're putting into and onto your body, this includes people that you're spending time with. So, holidays, sometimes it's unavoidable. We'll provide support for this in the Discord server as well. That is one of the intentions with this 21-day journey is to provide support for those of us who are going through it during this period of time so you don't have to weird your relatives out by it, right? So doing what you can to minimize the poison and the static, I often call it, in your body so that you can operate from the internal locus like this person where their aura is expanding, right? The solar plexus comes online, the heart chakra, which is the astral bridge, is open, it feels safe. And this is where you are consciously creating your reality. You're creating your reality here also, but you're creating a reality that reinforces like fear, essentially, when you're in this mode, right? Here, you can create a reality that is more aligned with the new paradigm, like the more spacious, relaxed way of being. And then I don't think it's important to talk about this. So let's just talk about the specific contemplations for this week, and then I'll open it up for, I can't see what I'm doing here. Then I'll open it up for some questions. So day 1 of the Ra Lovebug Portal, softening into the descent. Okay, so this is the theme is surrendering. I'm going to tell you a little story here. So like I was a crazy, like very, very anxious child. Like I had so many irrational fears, crazy anxiety. I had to take sedatives, like benzos were my best friend, like up until until they weren't. But I had a lot of fear growing up, right? And like not wanting to hurt myself, not wanting to get in trouble, like whatever. Great, and you like even weird irrational fears. And this stuck with me, like this inhibition, this fear, this anxiety in my tissue reinforced the separation, which made me more afraid, right? And I would use alcohol. I was like an addict for a long time, decades of alcoholism and hard drug use, any drug use, really. I was a rave kid in the late 90s and early 2000s. So take with that what you will, but anyways, I use these different substances to mitigate that fear, right? Because the fear was disabling. It was contracting in my being. It prevented me from doing so much stuff. Once I stopped being an addict, I got sober, right? Like the fear was still there. And it was like really uncomfortable. And I remember like I just dove right into spirituality and like self-help and different podcasts. And one day I was listening to a podcast and it was an episode on ecstatic childbirth. And for those of you who have done that, like the way the medical complex, like it was not an ecstatic experience for me when I gave birth to my child, right? Like, but the lesson So I'm sorry if that was TMI, by the way. The lesson that I got from that is like this woman was talking about how her experiences being brutally abused by her father, like hit with a belt type of stuff, as a child, and she had like a guardian angel that told her to soften, right? That if she just relaxed when her dad was beating her, that she wouldn't feel it. And so she, as a child, practiced this. So when she would receive a beating, she would relax, she would melt into the bed, and the belt just started going through her, basically. Like she wouldn't feel it anymore. And then as she grew up and became a spiritual teacher, she discovered that this was the secret to ecstatic childbirth, right? And so at the time, this was during COVID when I was listening to this, and like I was trying to learn how to go barefooting, like to ground, and like my poor little sensitive toes, it was like not fun, right? And I was listening to this podcast and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. If I just relax, I don't tense my foot up, then I can walk on rocks and it doesn't hurt. And sure as shit, that worked. Okay, so this is where this title, or this beginning, the very starting point of this portal, is for you to just relax. Relax into what is. Soften, okay? Soften into surrender, right? Surrender is not like you're some weak little bitch, okay? Like surrender is like acceptance. There is power in surrender. Okay? That is one of the most feminine forces, right? The divine feminine is not a pushover, okay? So softening into the descent. So the contemplations that I have that we can talk about on the call, you can use them in your own meditations as well. Where are you being asked to soften instead of solve? This is specifically coming from Pisces and Chiron right now. And then also where the sun is also, right? So like where are you feeling like you have work to do? Like, this idea of new age spirituality, or like the healing space, right? Like it perpetuates wounding by just thinking you always have to heal something, right? So like where do you feel like you have work to do? Where do you feel like you're not good enough? Where do you feel like there's a problem in your life? And can you just soften? Can you just stop resisting whatever that is? Can you stop fighting it? Can you stop trying to fix it? Can you just let it be? Second part of this, based on Mars and the activity with the nodes in particular, building on this idea of where you're being asked to soften, how are you compromising yourself with performance or mask over truth? Where are you doing yourself a disservice? How are you not being yourself? Where is that showing up? And then as far as journal prompts go, they're very similar kind of themes, right? So like, where are you abandoning yourself? And if you choose that future version of yourself today, what would it shift? Now, I'd planned on doing a little somatic exercise. I just yapped the whole time. So I think let's just take a breath, okay? So we'll just take a moment here. Those of you who are here live on the call, just take a minute, exhale, make a sound if you need to. Don't restrict yourself. Relax your forehead, relax your face. These muscles around your mouth are in charge of mastication, which is chewing. So if you like stretch them out or you blow air into them, or you do like a horse breath, or a lion's breath, ugh, these are my go-tos. I do this shit all the time, like when I'm driving. People probably think I'm mental. This is the quickest way to getting yourself out of sympathetic and into parasympathetic, your nervous system. So just taking a minute and then now situating yourself in the present moment, right? So like looking around wherever you are, just take a moment not looking at the screen, but just looking at the room or the space that you're in. Like maybe look behind you, not looking for anything in particular, but just like taking it in. We're situating yourself basically in reality, out of the head and into the present moment. Then closing your eyes, taking a big breath in, holding that breath, softening your shoulders and your face while you're holding the air. And then when you're ready, when you can't hold it any longer, exhaling in 3 controlled bursts. From this place, tuning into your heart, putting your attention there in the astral bridge, asking yourself, where are you being asked to soften? Where can I soften more? And allow what needs to come through to come through. Where can I soften more? Where am I doing myself a disservice by masking? Now I would love to just sit in this energy a bit longer, but since I yapped so much, I'm going to invite you to bring your awareness back. And if you feel called, share what came through or anything else.
I think I have to let go of trying to pack my schedule. I've been off work for some medical stuff for a little while, and I find that with the loss of that daily grind schedule and kind of what I built my identity around for the last 20 years, I know that I'm being told to go inward, calm down, like work on myself. But that other part of me is like, no, must fill calendar, must do things, be productive, do. So I'm trying to like,
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So my invitation would be, instead of trying, can you just accept that little voice as it is? Like, what is that voice doing for you?
making me look at myself.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And ultimately, like all of the shadow patterns, we'll call them, right? Like that programming telling you that you need to do more. It's just trying to keep you safe, right? It's trying to look out for you.
Mhm.
So whenever I tend to personify these little gremlins, like in a way that's cute, not like, yeah, I could stop it, but like, now, gremlin, like we don't need that today. We're good.
Mine's named Tony.
Tony. I dated a guy named Tony. He grew mushrooms.
I got one thing, or I got a couple things.
Yeah.
Um, well, it's funny because I actually do the exact same thing you were just talking about, like when it comes to personifying, but that's not exactly what I was gonna say. One thing that I noticed with myself, is like that performative spirituality, that sort of thing. And it's like it's like what is spirituality on an external level anyways? Like why do I need to feel that I need to come off in some sort of way to certain people, you know? And
Yeah.
also like at work, I'm a drum instructor and the people that are like the musicians there, it's just like I dull myself down so much to almost it feels like appease them.
Hmm.
Like because I don't want to get thrown to the wolves, right? Like that whole thing. Which is yeah, those are kind of the two main things.
Absolutely. Yeah. That and that, that kind of environment, right? Like, especially when you're around people who, musicians in general, like anybody who's performing, like they're going to have like an energy of confidence, even if it's not, like it's almost like they're more intimidating, like that kind of environment.
It's
Even,
just yeah. It doesn't feel like real confidence though. It like
yeah,
it feels like a like I need to appear confident so I can, be liked or whatever it is,
that's
not fed
right.
to the wolves.
Yeah, they're just puffing themselves up, right? Like, and again, like they're acting from where they need to be and what they think is best, and ultimately that kind of survival, right? So like, as far as the contemplation goes in these themes for you, it's like, how is that serving you? And again, just kind of softening that delivery to it, like it's okay. I can be myself. Nothing's gonna happen.
Mhm. It's nice because I do deal with kids mostly because that's who I teach. And kids don't care, man. Like they don't care.
Kids eat that shit
Like,
up, man. Like they love it. They love the authenticity. Like, when I have difficult family situations, but like when I go to extended family things, I'm always hanging out with the kids.
yeah, right.
I can talk to them. Like,
I mean, there's just so much less preconceived judgment of what somebody should and shouldn't be. It's
hmm.
just, yeah.
Yeah, they've had less time in the machine, right? Like they were born pure. Like we're born forgetting, right? So that we have the experience of being in the body, but ultimately there's like a core essence with children. And especially I feel like the kids that are coming through now, like it's almost like like the whole like indigo kids and different waves of stuff, right? Like I feel like they came in with less contraction so that they could be closer to the remembering as the
Yeah.
collective is moving in that direction. So
Yeah, sorry, just one thing. Like this one kid I had, he was saying like just randomly after just hitting these drums, just like seemingly out of control. He's just like, in life, everything that we have to lose eventually, and that's okay. And I was like, yeah, man, that's like really wise. Like it
that's
was so,
wild. Little
yeah,
philosopher. I love it. I have my daughter is almost 16, and like I swear sometimes the stuff that comes out of her mouth, I'm like, are you my mom? Like, what is happening here? So cool. Thank you for sharing. I
yeah, thank
appreciate
you.
your presence and your contribution. Does anybody else have anything else that they want to pop into this space before we wrap the call up today? Feel free to put it in the chat also if you would rather not verbalize. I'm just going to look at the chat actually, see if I missed anything. You guys are funny. I wish I could pay attention to this while I was talking. It's too difficult for my little brain. Okay. Great. Well, you know what? This has been a great kickoff call. It really feels nice to be in my own space here and me connecting with humans who are picking up what I'm putting down. Oh, somebody's trying to get in, but the call's ending. So that is it for today. As I've mentioned, I'm going to be doing a free call like this once a month as far as the Bright Light Collective is concerned. So if you're in the Discord server or on my email list, you'll be getting a notification as far as that goes. If you would like to participate in the rest of the Ra Lovebug Portal, so the 21 days, I'm going to have a specific contemplation and journal prompt for each day. And then next Monday and the Monday after, I'm going to be doing a call just for those two tiers, and it'll be similar kind of vibe. So thank you so much for being here. Remember to get still, make some space for yourself today, and please feel free to share any insights that come through in the Discord server so that other people can know that we're all living different versions of the same story. So thank you so much. I'll see you guys in the server.